Okay, so WebDriver architecture. Here we are in the bottom side. We have to see today implementation of Selenium 4 architecture. So how it is implemented, how WebDriver is implemented, how, okay, so what classes are implemented this WebDriver interface, and we'll see that. Okay, this is the Selenium 3 implementation. So basically we have a search context interface. This is the parent of WebDriver interface. So WebDriver is an interface. That parent interface is a search context. So in this search context, two methods are there: findElement and findElements method. So WebDriver interface, you have all the browser methods, and there are other methods also. So when you are implementing this WebDriver in the remote WebDriver class, remote WebDriver is the class which is implementing the WebDriver interface. See, interface and interface extends. Again, interface class implements. So all this we have discussed nicely in Java, right? Am I right or not?
Yeah, yes, sir.
So now, see, remote WebDriver is extending to, so the child classes. Internet Explorer extends to remote WebDriver. Firefox driver extends to remote WebDriver. Chrome driver extends to remote WebDriver. Edge driver extends to remote WebDriver. Safari driver extends to remote, and Opera driver extends to remote WebDriver. So that means the parent of all these classes is remote WebDriver. That's the Selenium 3 implementation. So now let's see Selenium 4 implementation. So again, search context is the parent interface of WebDriver interface. WebDriver is implemented in the remote WebDriver class. So WebDriver is implemented in the remote WebDriver class. Again, Internet Explorer is extended to remote WebDriver. Firefox driver extends to remote WebDriver. Safari driver extends to remote WebDriver. These three directly extending to remote WebDriver. Now observe the Edge and Chrome driver. There is a one more class in between them. That is C. Remote WebDriver, Chromium driver extends to remote WebDriver. Edge driver extends to Chromium driver. So that means, can you tell me what kind of inheritance is this?
Multi.
You're coming almost close. Yeah, go ahead.
Multi-level.
Multi-level inheritance. Now this is not directly extending into remote WebDriver. This is extending into Chromium driver. Chromium driver extending into remote WebDriver.
Remote
So
driver.
this is the multi-level inheritance. So this is multi-level inheritance. So, and so that's the main change. What is the main change? Chromium driver class added in between Edge driver and Chrome driver in between. So this is the one you can see here. So Edge, Chrome driver, extend to Chromium driver, Chromium driver extend to remote driver extend to object class. So object is the superclass. Here is the one complete implementation part I have given. Please go through that. So, and also all these interfaces and classes are available in org.opk.selenium package. So WebDriver is an interface and that class. So Firefox driver is the class for the Firefox browser. So if you want to launch the Firefox browser, which class you need to create object?
Firefox driver.
Firefox driver class. See, the class names I have given here. You have to remember these class names. Just nothing, just browser name plus driver keyword will add. Remember at least like that. Okay. So every browser has a one driver class. Every browser has a one driver class. And Chrome driver is the class for Chrome browser. Safari driver is the class for Safari browser.
Safari.
And Opera driver is the class for Opera browser. Internet Explorer driver is the class for Internet Explorer. HTML unit driver is the class for HTML unit driver. Event firing web driver is the class for this is for executing the listeners, and this is one of the listener name in Selenium, but this one is deprecated in Selenium 4. Okay, Selenium 3 HTML unit driver was there. That's a headless browser. So remote WebDriver, to run the test cases on remote machines, you will use this remote WebDriver class. So you should not use a Chrome driver, all this. So remote WebDriver class you have to use if you are running on the remote machines.
Excuse me, sorry.
Edge driver is the class for Edge browser. So can I create like this? WebDriver driver equal to new WebDriver. Is this correct?
Oh. No, it's an interface, right?
Yeah, absolutely correct. See, okay. So WebDriver driver equal to new WebDriver is wrong, because for interfaces you should not create object. That's what Java concept you have to bring it here. Okay. So why we cannot create an object for WebDriver? So already giving already given the thing, but again I'm giving one more time. See, interface contains all abstract methods. Any interface, it doesn't matter. Here I'm just giving one name, WebDriver, but that is also interface. I'm giving a generic way. Any interface contains abstract methods. Abstract methods means, what is the meaning of that?
There is no body, only
there is no
body.
Right, exactly. There is no body. Without body, you cannot use. Without body,
You
cannot use it. So that's why there is no implementation for those methods. And if the definition is not given, what is the purpose of that method? We don't know, right? That's why you should not use. So without definition, we cannot use them. That is the reason we should not create object for a WebDriver. Any interface, not for a WebDriver, any interface. See, so when we first start with the Selenium automation, you will write like this: interface variable name equal to new implementing class. So WebDriver driver equal to new Firefox driver. So this is called runtime polymorphism concept. It is following. So this is the parent type, right? Parent type, that reference variable is pointing to that implementing class objects. So that is the reason. So it is runtime polymorphism. It is following here on the slide. What is meant by WebDriver driver? So WebDriver is an interface, the data type of this driver variable, and we are defining a reference variable driver whose type is an interface. So what is the driver type?
Interface.
Driver interface. So now any object we assign it to must be an instance of a class that implements the interface. So that's the how we can. Selenium 4 architecture is quite so you can see there is no JSON wire protocol, direct no interaction with the browser driver. The code will go and directly interact with the browser driver class and then with the browser. Okay, that's a change in the Selenium 3 and Selenium 4. See, unlike Selenium 3, Selenium 4 has a direct communication between the client and server. This internal architecture you should understand. So then it is easy for you how they implemented. We can tell anywhere. So, and we have a Selenium client sends out a request to perform a command. WebDriver language bindings is a code library designed to drive actions. So these are WebDriver language bindings. So being logic is written with these programming languages only. And browser drivers, so those are the which receives the request and then return the response after an automation test script executes on the browser. So that's how Selenium 4 works. Then what is the difference between Selenium 3 and Selenium 4? So in Selenium 3, Chrome driver extends directly to the remote WebDriver, and Selenium 4, Chrome driver, so class extends to Chromium driver. Okay, that's the difference. A valid difference or not?
Yes.
So what this is having, which has a predefined methods of CDP tool. CDP means Chrome debugging protocols. So then in Selenium 3, JSON wire protocol was the major mode of communication between the test code and the browser. So here in Selenium 4, so what is the major protocol? W3C compliance. W3C protocol is the major communication. So a difficult task in Selenium 3 was that the testers were always to start the hub and node jars each time to perform automation testing on the grid. But in Selenium 4, so in Selenium 4, the testers need not to start the hub and node separately. So if you start one, that automatically so start the hub and node at a time, one time effort. So you don't need multiple times. That's the main differences of Selenium 3 and Selenium 4. So what are the challenges so you're facing in Selenium automation testing? This is another interview question. There are many challenges are there. So like, so when you have a pop-up windows, right? When we have a pop-up windows, so maybe that alerts you're getting. So if you are not handling the alerts, so then your test case will fail. Your test case will fail. So then how we can handle them? You have a alert concept in Selenium. So alert concept in Selenium. That alert concept we can use, and so you can handle the alerts. So that's the first one. The problem and solution I'm giving both. This is the problem area, and how to solve that is using alerts concept. You can use dismiss method and accept method. So accept method will accept the alert. Dismiss method also will cancel the alert basically. So, and main challenge you can tell this identifying the dynamic elements. Identifying the dynamic elements. So to handle dynamic elements, basically, so I have shown you in the Rediff mail and also in the ZK demo websites, right? So the element object identification dynamically changes, like ID value, name value changes. Every time you refresh the page, the value changes. And how we will handle that? So we have the problem is, so the element attribute values are dynamically changing. That's the problem. How you can solve that? By applying the CSS and XPath formulas, we can solve that. Okay, dynamic XPath, dynamic CSS selectors we will write to handle that. That's the answer you have to do. So next, third one, timeout and synchronization issue. What is the timeout and synchronization issue? So most of the cases, this is the major problem in the automation test cases. See, your test case will fail or timed out. The reason is your Selenium is looking for particular element or particular value in the web page, but that hasn't come at, it is taking more time to load. Your WebDriver is very fast and your page is slow. Both are not in sync. Then what will happen? Then Selenium tells that, okay, I cannot find this, so I'm timing out. So that's the Selenium will do that. So in order to sync both of them, so in order to avoid this unnecessary timeout issues, synchronization issues, so what you need to do, Selenium is providing, okay, you can tell Selenium, hey, Selenium, wait, my element is still loading, or my page is loading, my page title hasn't come yet, my element hasn't appeared yet, my element is not present in the DOM yet, or this element should be invisible, so wait for that. You can tell that. So you can tell, then WebDriver will wait. WebDriver will listen to your action. So whatever you are writing code, it will listen. Okay, so I will wait. But you're going to give how much time it has to wait. So there is a wait commands are there in Selenium. There is a explicit wait commands are there. Explicit and implicit wait commands are there. You can use that explicit and implicit wait commands to tell WebDriver, wait until my event completes. So that's the how to handle this sync issues or timeout issues. So what is the answer for timeout issues and synchronization issues?
Using wait commands.
Using wait commands.
Wait
What are the wait
commands.
command names? Explicit wait and
Implicit waits.
So these are the two types of wait commands we have that you can apply. Okay. Next, cross-browser testing. So cross-browser testing is nothing but so basically Selenium supports multiple browsers and multiple languages, right? And multiple operating systems. So you can run your test case on different browsers. So with operating systems. So when you're running, it may or may not work because there are different reasons for that. So maybe object identification will fail, or your so network connection is different. So one browser it will work, one browser it may fail. All this you have to run multiple times to solve those problems, and you have to use a proper object identification. So that is another challenge is running on the cross browsers, so different browsers and operating systems. That's called cross browser testing. So mandatorily you have to do this. Otherwise, if Selenium is not helping, you have to do manually. So such cases, this will help you. Selenium will help you, but if you change or use proper locator. So testing of mobile applications. So testing of mobile applications, you don't have a direct feature in Selenium, but so there is an option to test so mobile applications. Appium tool is there. So the Appium tool is going to have WebDriver protocol. WebDriver protocol is there. So in that, so WebDriver protocol is used to drive native, hybrid, and iOS, Android mobile apps can be tested easily with this Appium tool. APPIUM. Appium is the open source tool. So let's say before, when they started, it was there in the WebDriver only, but then they separated entirely. So that's a mobile application testing. The same WebDriver concepts are available in this Appium tool. It supports both iOS and Android applications. Page loading, as we discussed already, timeout and synchronization. But so, for example, you have a drop down. So then you have a cascading drop downs. Cascading drop down is one drop down. If you select option, the next drop down options depends on the first drop down. So the first drop down you selected, a second drop down, it will take some time to load the second drop down options. That time you have to wait. Otherwise, Selenium doesn't wait. Even nanoseconds also it doesn't wait. So to handle such kind of things, so you need to take care of all this the wait times. So basically you have to use the proper way, so synchronization wait commands. Okay. Any questions on this?
No, sir.
Okay. Okay, so next one, scalability. Scalability means how many systems you want to run, how many browsers you want to run. That scalability can be achieved with the Selenium grid concept. So because so your organization has many teams and all having automation concepts, automation test cases. You want to run them every day, night. So then how can you run? If you run one by one, it will take days. Not, one night you cannot finish, but how can you finish them? So in order to handle such kind of, scalability, and what they will do, they will configure the Selenium grid. Yes, I told you, Selenium grid is a distributed environment where you can have multiple machines, you can configure, you can run your test cases directly on the Selenium grid. Now Selenium 4 grid is a very lightweight, and they have given so Docker image. That's a beauty of this Selenium. They developed the Docker image. So that's so easy to set up and run parallel execution. Basically, the scalability is nothing but here parallel execution you can achieve with the Selenium grid concept. So that really helps us to run parallelly, and that's the main concept of this thing. Okay, and so any other questions here before moving on to the multi-tab testing? What is multi-tab testing? So now I opened so many tabs, right? You want to go to this tab, how you can go? So that is called multi-tab testing. So you open multiple tabs. How can switch to different tabs? Then that is the concept. Now you can use yesterday I told you already two methods: get window handle,
Get window
handles.
handle.
So these are the two methods are going to help. And after first you have to call these two methods when you're working with multiple windows and tabs. Sir, how these will help you? What is the logic?
It will give ID.
Each window has its unique UID. They're not same, okay? And all of them will fetch and stores in the set collection by get window handles method. So in the order, which orders are you can ask? What is your parent window? This is the parent window I opened by my WebDriver. My WebDriver opened this window first. Then later I opened one by one. All at a time won't open. So they are opened one after the other. At least some delay will be there. So that will catch that. Selenium has that intelligence power. It will catch which one is opened in the order. So same order it will store, and uniquely it will no duplicate windows again. Unique window IDs only it will store there. That's a set, right? Set collection means that is the one. We all learned set collections. So that is the multi-tab testing. So you can handle easily with those IDs and other things. So limited reporting. Limited reporting means, as I mentioned very clearly, it doesn't have a reporting capability directly. So direct reporting capability doesn't have. So direct reporting capabilities, it doesn't have. And you have to depend on the third-party tools like TestNG or extend reports. So that you can integrate with the Selenium. That's the limited reporting capability. Limited captcha handling. You cannot handle the captcha. You're not limited. You cannot handle captcha. And supports only web applications, no Windows-based applications. So testing possible with the Selenium. So that's all about this theoretical wise. Now, how to run different browsers and their configurations in Selenium 4.8.x version onwards. No need to use any browser.exe file. You can directly launch the browsers. Before, you have to, every browser, there was a exe file. That was irritating. So when the version changes, again, you have to change the exe file concept. Later, no, they prepared one more WebDriver manager concept that also ignored. Now, Selenium itself implemented that WebDriver manager in the code. No need, directly you can write simple one-liner. So they're simplifying the code, right? That's what the optimization, code optimization. So WebDriver driver equal to new Firefox driver. If you write, Firefox browser will launch, empty browser for you. If you write WebDriver driver equal to new Chrome driver, empty Chrome browser will open. So if you write a WebDriver driver equal to new Internet Explorer driver, IE browser will launch. If you write WebDriver driver equal to new Edge driver, this will launch. Okay. So these are all the driver initialization code here. I have given very clearly here. Go through that. So, and browser configurations, you want to set any browser configurations. So that browser has a Chrome options class is there. For Chrome browser, we have a Chrome options class. That Chrome options dot add arguments. So these are the certification issues, user directory path, headless mode, you can run in like this, and incognito mode, you can run, disable notifications, you can do all you can do with this method. That's it. Then you can pass this Chrome options object to Chrome driver object. Then this all these settings will set here in this Chrome browser. Same way for other browsers also you have, instead of, for example, you want Firefox, same changes. You create object for Firefox options class. If you want to make a change on the Edge browser, what is the class you need to create object?
Driver.
Edge options. Options if you want to change in the browser. Options class will be there. Options class will be there. So these classes are different. These classes just launch the browser without default settings. But you want to make your custom settings. Then what is the classes you have to use? That respective class, options class. Okay, then call the add arguments method. And now you can do that. Right? That's the one. So what are the locators in Selenium? I already mentioned we have practiced all these things. So I don't want to tell that. Browser methods, I already explained yesterday. All the browser methods we have seen. So now navigate methods. So let me go to our, this is also fine, okay? If you want, you can go here. Otherwise, let me go to our, see, as I mentioned, blog archive 2020, February 2020. Here you have all the methods. So yesterday I have given this browser methods, right? Yes. Now let me explain SwitchTo methods. So when you can use this SwitchTo, meaning understand the English meaning, SwitchTo. What is meant by switch to?
Move to.
From one to another, one tab to
Moving,
another.
right? Moving from one
Moving.
place to other place.
One
So
place.
here, the cursor will move from current window to specific window, specific frame, specific alert dialog window. That's the switch to method purpose. So you can switch to the windows, you can switch to the tabs, you can switch to the frames, you can switch to the alerts. All you can do with this switch to method. That's a powerful method. Okay.
Yes.
And so driver dot switch to method dot window of window reference. So window reference. So what it does is, first you will get the window IDs, right? Using get window handle and get window handles. After that, you have to call this method, this line of code. So what this line of code will do? Driver means current browser. Current browser, you switch to window, this window ID. You tell, okay, I want to go to this window. You give this window ID here. You give this window ID. Which window you want to go, that window ID you pass it here. Then cursor will move to current window to
That window.
this window. See how meaningful the statement. Driver dot switch to method dot window. You're telling very clearly which window you want to go, which window you are asking to move cursor. That window ID as an argument you are passing. Where you will get this window ID? What are the methods will give this window ID?
Get window handles. Get window handles.
Get window handle and get window handles method will give you IDs. That ID you pass particular ID.
Not for you, go.
Okay. Next, how can you switch to the frames? How can you switch to the frames? So driver dot switch to method dot frame of string frame locator. String frame locator. And so now see that, can you see here frame, frame, frame. So driver dot switch to method dot frame string frame locator. Driver dot switch to method dot frame of int index. Driver dot switch to method dot frame of web element name you have to pass. Element name you have to pass. So these are the three methods. Can you see three methods?
Different arguments.
So different argument. What do you call this? What kind of oops concept is this?
Method.
Polymorphism.
What polymorphism?
Method overloading.
Method overriding.
Overriding.
Hmm?
It's overriding.
Neela has given already answers.
Overriding, sir.
Overriding. What is meant by
Overloading.
overriding, madam? What is meant by overriding? So overriding means what? I think you guys didn't read the difference between method overloading and overriding. Overriding means parameters should be same. Parameters should not change. But here, what is happening here?
Parameters change.
Parameters different.
Then what is that?
Overload.
You're overloading the method with the parameters. This is the method overloading concept, this one. Please read those the differences important, okay? That's very, very important. Okay, how can you switch to the alerts? So alert interface, reference variable equal to driver dot switch to method dot alert method. So that's the alert reference variable. Okay. So this is the SwitchTo related methods. Okay, and let me paste these URLs for you guys, and you are missing, right? Better to so what is that? Our Java February SwitchTo methods. Okay. Then many people have a problem to search. That's why I'm giving link URLs also, so that your life is easy. So next, navigate methods. So navigate. Can you tell me what are the navigation actions in the browser?
Backward, forward,
Okay. So
Up,
only two.
down, up,
Up.
down,
Hmm?
up and down.
Up and down. Up and down, where you will see, madam? In the browser, did you see that? That's a keyboard action, right?
Yes, sir.
Keyboard, in the keyboard, did you access browser navigations? Did you try
refresh,
any time? Did you try any time? Will it go to the previous page, next page, and refreshing, and also navigating to other tab with the key up and down key arrows, left, right arrows? Will you try? I'm not sure. You tell me if you know. I will also learn if that trick is there.
Refresh.
Refresh we can do. I agree. Right? Refresh we can do. No doubt. But so let's see how we can so navigate method. Okay, what is this navigation method will do? So an abstraction allowing the driver to access the browser's history and to navigate to a given URL. So to of URL, so opens the URL and maintains the browser history. So we can load URL using two method of navigation, inner interface of WebDriver interface. Is similar to get method basically. So what is the syntax is driver dot navigate method dot to of URL. Can you all see what you call this? This object reference dot method dot method, one more method. So what do you call this? So this is another name we call this is a method chaining. Method chaining. So you can chain the method. You see, this method is chained with other method. This is called method chaining. So driver dot navigate method dot to of URL. So that means from current browser, you are navigating to this URL. See how meaningful it is. If you understand like that, then you never going to forget that. So driver means current page which is opened already. Now from this page, you are navigating to this URL. That means in the same browser, this will open. For suppose here, you opened a Facebook. Now in the Facebook place, google.com will open. That's a navigating. So you want to go to previous, this is the browser actions here, browser navigation actions. Every browser has this feature. Every browser has this feature, but how you can simulate them in the Selenium? a browser navigation back, how you can do in Selenium? So using back method.
Back method.
So the back method you have to chain to the navigate method. So driver dot navigate method dot back. So
back.
anytime you want to press browser back button, what is the code you have to write?
Yeah,
Driver dot
Navigate.
navigate method dot back.
That's complete. You have to, don't skip. You have to write driver dot
Driver dot
navigate
navigate
method dot back.
back.
So suppose you want to go to, see, suppose now I'm going back. So I went to previous page, right?
Yeah.
I went to previous page. You can see that. See, this was the page we were, right? Switch to method. Now see my forward button is enabled. Now how can you go? You need to click this, right? That forward action, how you can achieve? So using
Driver dot
Forward method.
forward method. So driver dot navigate method dot forward.
Forward method.
So how can you refresh? This is the refresh icon is here.
Yeah.
When you refresh,
Driver dot
using refresh method, it refreshes the current page.
Current page.
So driver dot navigate method dot refresh.
Refresh.
So what is the difference between get of URL and navigate dot to of URL? So get of URL method doesn't allow driver to access browser's history, while navigate method allows the drivers to access the browser's history and to navigate to the given URL. The second point, you cannot navigate back and forward using get method. There is no method, right, for us to navigate forward and backward in the get method. You cannot change any method. But while the same can be achieved through navigate method. There is no specific method for refresh a web page in get method, while navigate method provides a method called refresh method. So this is the one of the famous interview question. Another interview question: how you will refresh the page using get method? So you can refresh a page using get. So by calling the get method twice, you can achieve that. Okay. So any questions here? That's the navigate methods. So let me ping you this also. You guys. Okay, so navigate methods are done. Okay. So next one is findElement method. Now till now all the browser methods. First browser methods, then SwitchTo methods, then navigate methods we have seen. Now we are seeing the element methods. Now element means we are coming inside the browser. So element means we are coming inside the browser. So let's see how we can check this. Okay, so first method is findElement method. So findElement method always find element using by this
By
locator value in the current page. One element only it will identify. First element only, it will identify. That's a find element. See, very meaningful. Find element by locator and locator value. So what is the what are the locators we have?
ID, name, class name,
XPath.
CSS selector, XPath,
Link text.
link test, partial link test.
So that's different locators. So any one locator you can use it. So now what is the syntax? This is a return type method. Return type method syntax. What is the return type method syntax is?
Git return type variable
Annual
equal to
return type variable name equal to
object
reference type method.
object
Again, you forget return type methods syntaxes. How you can forget these things? Should not
Data type variable name equal to return type method.
Should not forget all these small things. So this all we already practiced so many times. Okay, here I have given already data type element name equal to, so the return type method, right? Web element is the return type of this method. Element name equal to, so driver dot find element by dot locator value. So all practice time we did this syntax. You remember?
Yes.
Practice time we have done or not?
Yes.
Yeah, I have.
That's the syntax only we did, right? Then why you are simply forget? Okay, so no issues. Let's go and do the second one. See that locators I already given. Find elements method by locator value. So what is the difference between these two? Find element will find only one element. That's the first occurrence of element. So find elements method will find a group of elements, similar group of elements. So that is having a kind of, so similar locator is there. So similar, so locator is there. That's what you are going to get all of them. A group of elements means where you can store. Collection. So list collection, it will return always. It returns a list collection. Always it returns a list collection. So that syntax is list return type of the method, variable name equal to driver dot find elements by dot locator value. So this locator is a common for all of them. So this locator is a common for all of them. So that's a locator value. So how can you fetch all elements from particular element or a section? So here you can fetch all the web elements, right? Like if I identify the first web element, so parent element, which element you are identifying, that element you identify. So you know how to identify the element. Web element interface, element name equal to driver dot find element by dot locator value. This you have to fix this in your mind, this syntax. All these syntaxes, if you remember only, you can write the code. If you are missing the syntaxes, you are not remembering, and writing the code is very difficult. So one day it's okay. Please read every day from the beginning, from browser methods, switch to methods, navigate methods, find element methods. Every day you read and revise. Every day you don't need to spend same time, right? Suppose you spend yesterday half an hour to learn the browser methods. Today, do you need half an hour? So just 2 minutes, 2 minutes job, just recollecting them. So that's a save set. Again, just to recap them. If you're forgetting, one more time you read. Like that, you practice and write the code multiple times, it will help you. So here, how can you fetch all elements from particular element or section? This scenario will help you for many scenarios in the web page. Wherever you want to get a group of elements, from parent element inside, child elements, all child elements you want to get. This is the code, fixed code, generic code I have given here. And you can use this code for any such kind of scenarios. For example, drop down. Drop down is the parent tool. Drop down inside, what you have?
Options.
Options. So this is the code you have to use. Ditto code. Only changes here, drop down locator you will give. Here, the common locator for the options. You have to build it. So that is the main concept, how we are going to use it. Is this clear? Any questions?
No.
So now, once you identify the parent element, see, I'm not using driver here, but here I use a driver for a find elements method, right? But here what I am using? Parent element dot find element. So that means find elements you can use directly on the browser, or you can use on the particular element also. This element inside, I'm finding all the elements by using this locator value and storing in this collection. That's the, so the fetching all the web elements. Is this clear, or any questions?
Clear.
Yeah. So these are all the elements how you can identify. Please go through these find elements methods also. Okay. Any questions?
No, sir.
Okay. So any other things we can cover today? Let me see any small topic. Locators we already seen, right? So, but locators is a little bit bigger thing. Let me cover any small topic. Locators, can we cover? So let me cover this locators topic. So what are the WebDriver locators? We have ID of ID value, name of name value, class name of class value, XPath of XPath value, CSS selector of CSS value, tag name of tag, link text of exact link name, partial link text of partial link name. So all these locators you can, so these are the methods. See, all these are the static methods in the by class. So static methods in the by
By
class.
class.
So static methods in the by class. So see, all the locators are static methods in the by class. I'm clearly telling. How can you call a one class static method in another place?
Class name dot using class name dot
Class name dot
Method name.
that method name or variable name.
so method name. Okay, method name with the parameter. So this is the parameterized method, right? So we can
Yeah.
use it. Okay. Next. And see, how can you identify an element with ID? See, web element name equal to driver dot find element by dot ID value. We have seen already with example. So how to identify an element by name? So web element name equal to driver dot find element by dot name. So okay, so here you can identify a single element with a name locator. You can identify a group of element in the web page. See that. So fetch all the elements which are having a collection of elements. List web element collection name equal to parent element dot find elements by dot name value. So you can find all the elements. So list web element collection name equal to driver dot find elements by dot name elements. What is the difference between this one and this one? Can you tell me?
We are using a driver. The other one using the parent element.
Okay. So this is the parent element inside, you are bringing all the child elements. But here, entire browser, you are fetching all the elements here. That's the same with the class name and with XPath, with the CSS selector. Same procedure. You can identify a single element. You can identify a group of elements in the entire browser and then the particular parent element inside. And so the main important is this one. I want to tell this one. So you can identify an element, single element with the web element name equal to by tag name. But you can identify a group of elements in the parent element and you can bring into collection. So even in the browser also you can bring it. So the real scenarios I'm applying with the tag name. So the tag name, basically we have a tag, okay? So a tag you have. So the a tag is available for. So the a tag is mainly for links, right? See, how can you fetch all the links in the web page? This is the code, fixed code. This you don't need to change also. List web element, collection name, equal to. So I told you in the web page means browser. The driver dot find elements by dot tag name. A. See, the locator is a tag name. So A tag, I'm giving A tag. So in this browser, how many A tags are there? All will fetch and stores in this collection. Next, how can you fetch particular section links in the web page? Particular section. That means first identify the section. Web element, section name equal to driver dot find element by dot locator value. So list web element section links equal to section name dot find elements by dot tag name. Yeah. So please catch this same scenario I explained right here. This is the one. See, these are 2 lines of code I'm repeating here. But here I am applying for a particular scenario. The same code I am applying here. Same. How can you fetch particular drop-down options? First, identify the drop-down. Web element drop-down equal to driver dot find element by dot locator value. So you should know this concept. Fetch all the options using find elements API and tag name locator option tag. So for a drop-down options are going to have option tag and store in the list type collection. Read this comment, then you will understand what is this below code. So doing list web element. So each option is a one web element. So option collection equal to this drop down. You're telling which drop down options, that drop down dot find elements by dot tag name option. So that means in this drop down, how many option tags are there? All option tag elements will come and store in this collection. Clear? Okay. So that's all the 3 scenarios I have given for the this code already. 3 times I explained the same thing. So how to identify the links? So web element name equal to driver dot find element by dot link text, exact link name. Only for link you want to identify, you have to use a link text. You're going to give exact link name here. So if you want to partial link, you want to use. So web element name equal to driver dot find element by dot partial link text, give partial link name. So that's all the locators. Okay, I'm just closing here for the day, and please go through